Got the football in focus back at the Teed Up Indoors on Battleground for another week. Getting down the road, football season moving on quite a bit now. We've got with us back again. Check it in, Enad Haddad. I'll talk about the Panthers a little bit. They got the Bears tonight, Panthers game.
Yep.
What's the Panthers status? All these injured players, all these guys that are out, and they got to win against the Bears. So what's happening tonight?
I know the receiving core is a little thin with DJ Chark out, but the Bears are very weak against the pass, and I think that Young is going to have a decent game. And I think Mingo, the rookie from Ole Miss, is going to do well.
Time to break out?
Yeah, it's time to – he needs a breakout game. And then I think Chuba will do well, or Chuba, whatever you call him.
Chuba, yeah.
He was named the starter, and all that money they gave to Miles Sanders was a waste.
Yeah. Miles Sanders came in the second half last week when the game was pretty much no longer in doubt.
Well, they should have known. I mean, he rode the coattails of the Philly team last year.
Yeah.
And with a team that traded so many assets to get Young, I wouldn't have invested in a running back that much. I would have done it the cheap way and helped him and helped the line or something else.
How crazy is it? You got a number one for a number one, plus they threw in more also in that deal. That's giving away a lot.
Well, I believe in him, and I think he will do well next year. I don't know if it'll be a Trevor Lawrence jump, but I believe in him. I know everybody's talking about C.J. Stroud now.
C.J. Stroud comparison just goes on week after week, and last week Stroud.
Well, that's just. I mean, it's supposed to though.
Right.
You know.
Who would have thought Stroud would have the game he did last week as the game he had the week before though?
Yeah.
What about the Panthers tonight though? As far as getting the running game going with Hubbard, do you think it's a good shot? Because
yes.
The other running back they had a couple years ago, last year, Devontae Foreman, he's with the Bears now.
I think he'll have a big game tonight.
I think he will. What about Moore? Moore, they say Moore's catching about eight catches a game to win the games. What about Moore?
Yeah, I mean, you think they're going to have to get him involved a little bit here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple revenge angles here. I think DJ Moore's calling now.
I think that was one of our local callers.
He said he wants the ball.
What about the Panthers in this game? I heard this afternoon, the game's going to be actually on like TV 45.
Really?
That's what somebody said today. Yeah.
No way.
Reliable person also said that. You know, it's going to.
I thought it's on Prime.
Prime. It's going to be because it's in North Carolina. It's going to be on.
Oh, that's
TV 45.
interesting.
Yeah. So people can actually watch it. Yep, on a broadcast show. Now I have to call you back later. You got any news? No news?
It's just Frank Reich.
Right.
Frank, do better. You're going to get fired next year.
Listen, I got to roll right now. I got a show going on currently on a live broadcast show, but I'll check you a little bit later, okay? Thank you, boss man. Yep, that was one of our locals.
Well, let's talk about Frank Reich, okay? I mean,
well, I talked about him last week.
He lived off the. You want to talk about coattails in Philly?
Right.
He was a coordinator, and then he was very mediocre in Indianapolis. And he is a good guy. He's a stand-up guy. He's beloved, you know.
Right.
But at some point, you got to get some production. I don't care if you're, you know.
Do you think it was kind of a little resort to kind of take some pressure off him when he turned the offensive coordinating duties over to Thomas Brown? He got the duties now.
Yes.
He put some of that load on him and takes some of that load off Frank Reich. He can say, no, it's not me. It's my guy.
But they should have performed better against the Colts.
You would think.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good matchup for them.
Very good.
At home, right?
At home, yeah.
So I think he bounces back tonight. I don't know if they'll win the game, but I think he'll have a decent game.
What about those old broadcasts? We were on that you here last time. I wrote down some names we didn't talk about.
Brent Musburger.
We talked about Brent, but along that same line, Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, Phyllis George,
Jimmy the Greek.
All the different transitional settings they did, the trendsetters, because you've got Irv, black broadcast. You got Phyllis,
he was the first.
Female,
yes.
And you got Jimmy the Greek, you got the handicapper. Yeah. Plus, what we did not mention was Will McDonough, who was a journalist. First time a journalist had been used on TV like that. What about Will McDonough?
I really liked him. And he was phenomenal, a New England guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
Had that good twist to him, yeah.
You know, I just turned 50, and, you know, I don't know if it's just if you get older and you think the past guys were better, but I really think they were better.
It was smooth.
I think now they're playing – you just hear a lot of jargon and stuff. Yeah. You know, every baseball season in the winter, I always watch the old World Series. I have 5 or 6 of them, like 75,
right.
Series 79. And they have, you know, all I'm trying to think of the names, but I learned Garagiola.
Yeah. Antonio Kubek.
Tony Kubek, all those guys were on the same. So you're watching and you're learning about the game, and I don't think that's necessarily needed as much now or what they want to do.
Right.
I think they want to bring in different groups where they can just turn on the game and it's
Well, if they bring in some of the guys that bring in now, if they get sometimes if they get too detailed, I think they lose some of the audience too.
Yeah. But I mean,
not everybody can identify all the stuff they use.
Well, I don't think they were too technical. I just think they were just talking baseball. They were just talking baseball. They weren't talking about their wives or their this, that, and the other. It was just
it wasn't a lot of Taylor Swift talk back then.
No, you were learning about the game. I mean, you were learning about pickoff moves and different patterns and stuff like that.
On that football line, I think another guy we didn't talk about last time too was this guy Jerry Glanville. He used to coach the Falcons.
Loved
and
him.
He was on TV. He was kind of before Jimmy Johnson. Jerry Glanville, I think he left once, and then somebody got sick. They brought him back again. He was kind of dry, kind of quirky, but he was very good.
Oilers, I think, Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons and Oilers, yeah.
I think that Deion Sanders takes from him.
Yeah, he was good when he was on TV.
Yeah. I'm saying when Glanville coached.
Yeah, the coaching part.
Deion was there.
Yeah.
And Deion was the way Deion is, but I think he, got some of that, guy in a black hat. And,
oh, yeah. What about, you'd say, we talked about this a little bit, you didn't know Art Donovan. Don't remember him then.
I do remember Art Donovan. I think he's phenomenal.
Big Art Donovan, okay.
Yeah, for the Colts.
Yeah, Colts, and he had the show, he was on, I remember back, they used to have TV 29, HTS, Home Team Sports.
Yes, Home Team Sports. We used to watch the Orioles every now and then. We would be so thankful if we could get a Orioles and Indians game in the late 80s, and we would never want it to end. But it was two totally bad teams.
Right.
But we get it on a black and white.
And something you hadn't seen a lot of before.
No,
too.
we were because now you can get a game anytime you want.
Yeah.
And there you were like, oh my God, it's a.
But Art Donovan was one of the first ones to come in and actually.
He was phenomenal.
He told it like it was.
Yeah.
He just threw it out there.
Yeah. He was a good personality.
Definitely personality.
He the guy that followed him, I think, was Tony Saragusa.
Yeah, the Goose. He was good. He's dead too. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Goose was good because they actually, with Tony Saragusa, something a little different. They don't normally do a lot of the broadcasts, at least on CBS, NBC. ABC did it quite a bit. They had the three-man crew. I have him down the field.
Yeah. I think McAfee guy has a little. What those guys have a little bit. I know he does a podcast, Pat McAfee.
Oh, yeah, Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee, the former punter of the Colts.
We should probably do this with Pat McAfee. We should probably pull our sleeves up like a tank top.
Yeah.
I saw that on test. I said, what in the world is this guy doing?
Yeah.
And he was kind of sunburned.
Yeah.
He's got that look, but everybody says that's his look, and he's getting good money for that look.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee was a punter back in the day.
Yeah, he's been given a hard time about being on the college show.
Right.
Which it's not a good fit, but that doesn't mean he's not a star.
Well, he's on the college show.
He's a star.
He's on the WWE also. When he's not doing football, he does WWE on Friday Night SmackDown.
But there's a book called The NFL Today, and it tells you the history of the whole thing and how they started, and I mean going way back and all that and all the.
Tell you what, that Ed Sable and his son, the Sable family, they got a lot going. The old NFL films.
I'll tell you, I can't remember the guy's name before, but Harry Callis in the 70s and 80s.
That voice, yeah.
I go back and watch NFL Week 7 of 1979 and just watch the whole week in 30 minutes.
Man,
and that voice,
Ed Sable and Steve
Roger
Sable.
Carr.
Yeah, remember Roger Carr? Ed Sable, Steve Sable, the Sable father and son team. They tore that up. Top 5 teams right now. Here's some teams to choose from. Eagles have got to be in the top 5, 8-1.
Yes.
I got the Chiefs in there, 7-2.
Yes.
It gets close after that. You got the Jaguars at 6-2. The Ravens are 7-2, which is not bad at all.
They're hot.
49ers and Bengals both 5-3. Cowboys 5-3. So some of those teams can't make that top 5.
San Fran's going to have to step it up.
Step it up, yeah. So not in the top 5 right now. What about the Bengals? They seem like an up-and-coming
team. They're hot now. They're hot.
Cowboys are kind of lukewarm right now. Or they're hot right now.
They're hot, but they can't seem to finish. They go as far as Dak can take them, and I think that's just the story. They can't win the big game.
The Lions are 6-2. They should be.
Oh, they should be in that group.
Top 5.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing that right now. Top 5 is moving on. Chiefs are playing better too. They got off to a bit of a slow start.
Yeah. I think teams like Miami, Dallas, they're going to have to win a big game at some point.
Right. Do you like these overseas games like in Frankfurt, Germany?
I do. I think it's nice. I think it's kind of like when I used to watch the Barclays League or the English soccer in the morning. Something you wake up to, you know.
Right. What do you think about the Panthers tonight? At least, what's going to be the outcome? They win this game or lose this game?
Oh gosh, it's in Chicago, right?
Right.
I think they're going to win the game. I think they're too strong for this team with Justin Fields out.
Yeah.
And I think having such a bad game last week, I can see a bounce
These
back.
crazy backup quarterbacks have done pretty good, though. And the guy they brought in last week for the Vikings, that Dobbs guy, he went
Well, they
crazy.
just traded for him.
Yeah.
Well, there's been, I don't know if you know this, 10 rookies have started an NFL game this year.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and I personally think the NFL product is below average.
Anthony Richardson's gone for the
He's
Colts.
gone. He was one of them, though.
Will Levis is up and coming.
He's
for
one
the
of the
Titans.
10.
Yeah, he's up and coming.
The guy for the Bears is one of them. The Carolina guy is one of them.
Yeah.
But the NFL product, the over and unders are like 36, 37. They used to be like 47, 48.
Interesting.
And you have to get two good teams together to see a good football. It's ugly, in my opinion.
What about tonight? This
It's
game.
like 1976.
Going back to
football.
this too. What about this? Last week, the Panthers used the Frank Reich deal with the Colts. It's kind of supposed to be an inspirational point. You know, they got rid of him. He's our coach now. We can beat this team. Tonight, do they use the DJ Moore and the Devontae
Yeah,
Foreman
I
thing
think there is something to
As
that.
a push for it?
Yeah, I was talking to our friend Joe Ferguson about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I think in this case, there is some revenge factor. I think there could be some motivation there.
Do you think that DJ Moore takes his helmet off tonight?
Maybe.
Remember that play
Yeah.
when he scored the touchdown?
Yeah,
Didn't have it
I
on?
was just going to say if he scores, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He may have it strapped on with
Yeah,
some kind of real
yeah.
tight chain or something like that. What about Tom Coughlin to the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Is he in there?
No.
He should be.
Yeah, because he just went into like the Jacksonville Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if he went to the Ring of Honor Jacksonville, he coached the Giants and very good coach back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, he's he had much success with Jacksonville, won a couple Super Bowls with the Giants,
Very
connected to other teams as coordinators.
Very tough coach too, but successful coach.
Very tough.
And the players seem to like him okay. I mean, the ones he worked over pretty hard as far as his hard coaching.
The newer
style.
generation didn't like him, and that's normal.
That's normal. And plus, the only thing you look at back on it too, you look at the wins. He won games. He was successful.
Yeah.
What about the college football this weekend? You thought any about this? Duke at Carolina is always a big game. Seems a little early in the season to be playing it, but they're playing it.
Yeah, I think that's an exciting game to watch, especially with the way Duke's been better this year.
Been
Right?
better this year. And Carolina has lost a couple of games they felt like they shouldn't have lost. Got NC State at Wake Forest. NC State's
That's
quarterback
exciting.
E.J. Morris just declared to be a redshirt this week, said I'm not going to play anymore this year. I think the guy should be on the bus. It says you're on the bus, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Because they say he's going to go to the portal anyway.
Yeah.
He acts like I'm going to come back and play some more at State, but I don't see that happening at all.
It's just like this kid who, with Lane Kiffin, that disappeared for a few weeks, and he sues him for $40 million. You know,
Can't believe all this junk
what about
going
the
on.
respect to contact your coach? Maybe he worried about you. Maybe he got sick.
Right.
Maybe he had anxiety. And where were you? Then you come back and just want what you want.
So what about the Wake Forest State game? Who do you like in that game? Yeah, I'm thinking State.
I'm going to go NC State.
Yeah, I'm thinking State kind of go back to the Frank Reich and the DJ Moore thing. If I'm State, I'm saying our quarterback quit on us.
Yeah,
Let's go out and kill somebody.
I like it.
Let's go get
I'd
these
like
guys.
to see Arch Manning start for Texas.
Yeah.
And
That would
that's
be fun.
very possible this week
Very fun, yeah.
for Texas.
And this game with NC State Wake Forest is going to be available too. We talked about the
Yes,
Panthers are available
yeah,
on
yeah.
45. This one's
Well,
going to
those
be
are
on.
great rivalries. NC State, Wake, Carolina. Just the colors is
And the
beautiful.
thing about State and Wake has always been like State's thorn in the side. State's
Yeah.
having a good year, and Wake
Yeah.
just sneaks in and ruins the
Yeah,
whole thing for them.
yeah.
They can't beat Wake Forest.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on CW20 of all things this week.
Oh, I like that.
CW20.
Hey,
2
give me
o'clock.
local all the time.
Yeah, local at 2 o'clock kickoff time. A good early start time there too, coming up on Sunday or Saturday. Some NFL games this week. We talked about the Panthers tonight at Chicago. You've got San Fran at Jacksonville. San Fran 5-3,
That's gonna be a good
Jacksonville
game.
6-2. I kind of picked that game as a good game
It's
for
gonna
this
be a good
weekend.
game.
Who you like in that one?
Gosh, it's tough not to pick San Fran off a bye week at home, but we'll see.
You know, Jacksonville at home, and they've been playing.
Is that game at home? Where's
It's
that
at
game?
Jacksonville.
Oh, then that's a different
Jacksonville's playing
story.
Better.
Well, okay, you got to travel across the country. I think it's going to come down to last drive or two then.
What about the Browns 5-3 at the Ravens 7-2? That's always a big matchup, and that's the Ravens left Cleveland.
I think Cleveland wins. I think the Ravens have done well against some bad teams, and I think they're a little overconfident. I think Cleveland wins.
You think Lamar Jackson's back full strength right now?
Yeah.
His best stuff's coming out
Yeah,
right
but
now?
that defense for Cleveland's good. They can handle him.
He's a good runner.
Yeah.
You got to give him credit. He can run the ball
Yeah,
pretty well.
yeah. I like Cleveland
Like Cleveland that one. So,
defense.
what are you looking at right now on TV? I know baseball's done, so you probably feel like right now you're kind of in a a hibernation period in some ways for baseball being done. What are you doing right now? What are you watching? What are you keeping up
A
with?
lot of NFL films, and there was a thing on Belichick and Warren or that '93 Oilers. When they finished the season and moved, there's a couple things like that.
What about Mike Vrabel, new coach of the Patriots?
I could see that.
Yeah, that's what I saw this week on one of the pages there, suggesting that might be the best move for the Patriots to make. What about Northwest Guilford? You working any with those guys right now with your baseball? Anything going on?
I will be there in the spring.
In the spring, but no work with anybody now?
No, I think tryouts are January 14th.
Wish you could have been there yesterday.
What was going on?
Middle school football championship.
I would have.
Northwest Guilford versus Kaiser.
I love that.
Double overtime.
I love it.
Double overtime. 33-32, double overtime.
I wish I would have been there.
And the kid who won the game, middle school, they don't do this. The kid who won the game kicked the extra point.
I love it.
Booted the PAT.
Did you see where that guy, that running back, was the backup kicker for Houston? He had to come in and kick. He kicked. Wes Welker did that once.
Wow.
Extra point backup kicker.
I know Doug Flutie did the old
drop kick.
Drop kick and scored, yeah. Back in his day.
Yeah.
He pulled it out of the hat. I'm going to let you roll.
Okay, appreciate
you. Moving, and we got Mike Fanning next tonight. So Enad Haddad with us here at Teed Up Indoors on Battleground Football in Focus. Take a break, come back. Our next guest coming up. And again, Enad Haddad, we thank him much.
Thank you. Who's up, Bryant?